Okay, part two, we're carrying on from here. So again, on the last one, we covered outliers. Again, we were just saying the yellow is just the achieved portion. To make a comment on it, there were no outliers, there were no clusters. And then when we talk to explain why we see the what we do, that's where we're on our excellence thing. Okay. For shift, the key thing for shift is we're comparing the two ends of the middle 50% boxes, your IQR. Now, you can do this down here in the numbers, right? That's your LQ. And your 75%, that's your UQ. Okay, so I'm comparing this. Now, I have to see both ends be larger than the one that they're related to. So this LQ is bigger, this UQ is bigger. Since both are bigger, then I can say that the female group is bigger, or in this case, exercises more. Okay, but both have to be bigger. If just one is bigger, then it doesn't count as a shift. Okay, that's really important. Or even if one is the same and the other one is massively bigger, that still does not count as a shift. Okay, both ends have to be bigger. There's a little bit more fancier version of shift, but if we're using this version, both have to be bigger. Okay, so again, for achieved, what do I see? What are those numbers? The female LQ is larger than the male LQ by 20 minutes, and I said exactly what it is. I could even include for exercise, but we've already said it a bunch of times in this one. Okay, and then I compare the UQs. Female UQ of 57.5 is larger than the males of 40. So I've said it's larger, and I've given the numbers. Okay, when this is larger, as both are larger, this means that there's a shift, and females and males tend to exercise more. I mean, females tend to exercise more than males. Okay, so this is what does this mean, right? Here's what I see. This is what it means. Because both are larger, it means that 50% of the females are shifted to the right, and that indicates that the females may tend to exercise more. Again, we're very careful of our language. We're not saying that they do, because obviously there's a big kind of overlap here, but they tend to. So more of them exercise more. Okay, this is very careful but important language. Okay. Again, if I back this idea up with some research that tells me that, then I could be claiming to be adding points to towards my excellence. Okay. Overlap gives a lot of people trouble. Again, what we're looking at, it doesn't matter what size each portion of the box is. When we're looking at each one, however long, it doesn't matter if this thing is like way out to here, this is still only 25% of the data, 1/4 of the people. Okay, if this is really, really small, like it only went to here, it's still 25%. Okay, each section of a box and whisker graph is 25%. Okay, important things what we're looking at. Overlap. We're looking at, is the median overlapped inside the other group's middle 50% box, or its IQR. Okay, so this one is, and so is this one. Both are overlapped. So if both medians are overlapped by the 50%, then I can't say that there's a difference. Okay, and this is slightly different than level 2, where we said they might be similar. Here because our whole thing is working on, is there a difference between the two medians? Not really, is one larger than the other. We're going to relate all of these arguments back to, I can say there's a difference, and it is, or I can't say there's a difference. Okay? So in this case, because the two are overlapped, I cannot say there's a difference between them, whatever they are. Okay? For this one, now it's not overlapped, right? This one's inside here, but this one is actually outside of that box. This XX is just the number. Like, for example, if this median is the median of A, if this is 25, is larger than the UQ of B, which is, say, 23, right? So then this is 23. That's what the ZZ and XX mean, just the number, whatever it is. Okay, so the median of A, which is 25, say, minutes, is larger than the UQ of B, which is 23 minutes. Okay, therefore, okay, Now, generally, can we go this far? At least if you're making a comment, we can make a point towards achieved. Okay, interpreting what it means. What does this actually mean? Again, is my merit. Okay, so all of these comparisons, when you're going to say that one tends to be larger than the other, it's always basically going to involve 75%. Okay, either like in this case, where this top 50, right, two sections, so that's 50% of A, that's the top 50. And this from here down, 1, 2, 3 parts, so 25, 25, 25. This is the bottom 75% of B. Okay, so if that 50 is bigger than that bottom 75, then it implies that A tends to be larger than B. Again, we're using our implies and our tends to be rather than is. Okay, we're not saying that it is. We're just saying that it's usually. Okay, next case. In this one, this median again is outside of the box, and it's now lower than even the LQ, that left side of the middle 50% box. It's even lower than that. Okay, so again, these are the numbers here. So if the LQ of A, I don't know, let's say that's 50. So 50 seconds for whatever it is. Okay, is larger than the median, let's say that's 45. 45 seconds. Okay, is larger than that. So again, just saying what it is, we're looking at achieved. What does it mean? Merit. Okay, this means the top 75%, right? Because now we have 75, 3 sections. Oh, that's a bad one. 75% is bigger than these two, the bottom 50, right? The bottom 50%. That's the top 75. This implies that A tends to be larger. And again, we got that 75. The last one was 50 versus 75. This is 75 versus 50. 75 basically has to be in there. Okay. Then finally, a more extreme case. Again, when I look at this, not only the medians aren't overlapped, but actually even the boxes don't overlap. If this box, so this LQ value here, is actually bigger than the UQ of this one. Okay. So in that case, we say what it is. Again, for achieved, what is it? And then for merit, we're going to actually, what does that mean? So because these two are bigger, again, this is 3 sections here, it's 25 each, so that's the top 75. So that's A's top 75. This is B's bottom 75, again, because it's 3 sections. Bottom 75%. Now that's a lot. That's quite significant. So therefore, we can actually up our language a little bit. We're still not saying it is larger. But now not only does it imply, but it strongly implies. We don't like to make stances and stats unless we're really backed up really well. And even then. Okay. Strongly implies that A tends to be bigger. Getting back to R1. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Getting back to R1. Again, both medians were overlapped. So we said that. This implies that we cannot say that there's a difference between the two groups. Again, not that they're the same. We're not saying that they're similar. We're just saying that we can't tell there's a difference. We need that 75% is bigger than or whatnot to get it. So, again, achieved, what it means. I can't say that there's a difference. And then finally, actually, I tried to do a bit of explanation for this. I said that, if it's a similar makeup and stuff, that this actually makes sense, right? If the groups have a similar makeup of athletes and non-athletes, it wouldn't be unlikely for them to have similar times. Now, finally, keep checking the time. Oh, we're going to run out. We're making the call. Check this out. It's based on the overlap and the overlap. Read all this up, and you can see. Again, your final thing has to be backed up.